Mass Effect Andromeda, the new cinematic trailer, launched yesterday, November 7th, or N7 Day, if you're one of those people, or work at BioWare.
One of those people.
Yeah, I know you are.
Definitely one of those people.
So you and Jean-Luc did a trailer breakdown, what it's telling us about Andromeda. This game's been delayed a bunch. A lot of people have left the studio. We saw at E3, I think it was E3, this kind of a letdown of a trailer.
Demo.
Yeah, it wasn't gameplay.
Yeah.
It was just weird. Like some of the audio wasn't even synced up with character faces talking. Like it didn't seem like it was synced.
Are you talking about the E3 one?
Not yesterday. The E3 one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yesterday it was pretty cool. It was Ryder's dad, like apparently Alec Ryder.
Alec Ryder. Yeah. So he's in it this time.
Because the twins are the main character.
The twins
Ryder
are the main
twins,
character,
yeah.
so you can pick between male or female, which is typical of Mass Effect. But then what's different in this is that if you pick the male, then the female character is still going to be in the game. She's going to be sort of your wingman, wingwoman.
Okay. Cool.
Wing person.
Wing person.
So I want to talk today mainly about what the trailer, and then Mac Walters, the creative director at BioWare, was answering a lot of questions on Twitter yesterday about how this game is going to play between the romances and the overall genre it's going to fall into. That's the one thing I want to touch on first. If you haven't seen the cinematic trailer, again, it's just talking about the Andromeda Initiative, the 600-year trip that they put people into cryostasis for, a bunch of different species to send to the Andromeda Galaxy, which is a close neighbor to us in the grand scheme of things, but again, it would take 600 years to get there, according to Mass Effect lore, based on the technology they have. But it also takes place between Mass Effect 2 and 3, so that's BioWare's way of avoiding the consequences of the ending of 3. So by the time you arrive in the Andromeda Galaxy in Mass Effect Andromeda, the events of 3 have already taken place. It's long after 3. It's also so far away that it probably wouldn't matter. Are the Reapers universal, or are they just in each galaxy? I'm getting too.
I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure if I had done some heavy research, I could figure out. But I don't think the Reapers are going to be in this game. I know there's some things in that trailer that kind of look like Reaper tech.
Yeah.
But I really don't think so. I think they're trying to move on, and I doubt it.
It'd be cool to see Reaper tech, but I don't want them figuring into the narrative too heavily again, because I feel like that has come and gone, and you pretty much have done everything possible with the Reapers.
I feel like we've dealt with that. Let's not deal with that again.
Yeah. So, but okay. So you were the one that brought this up to me. You said it's going to be more RPG-ish than 2 and 3, because the first Mass Effect felt much more like an RPG with its abilities and its character ranking, but also just it didn't 2 and 3 leaned really heavily into the cover shooting and kind of simplified the RPG aspects. But this one, Mac Walters, creative director on Twitter, was saying this is going to have more RPG elements. Can you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of been rumored before that they were going to go back to their roots with this. But it seems like from what I've heard and what I've seen, it sounds like this is going to be very heavy RPG and still kind of keep that intense action, third-person cover-based shooting, and try to figure out more of a blend between those two, which I think is what people want. They want that exploration, they want that customization, the RPG elements of leveling up, but I think they still want that pretty solid third-person shooting intact as well.
Yeah, in terms of building relationship with your characters, they also said loyalty missions are back from Mass Effect 2. Was that? Mass Effect 2, you're building up the loyalties for each of the characters, so then by the time the suicide mission rolls around, they have a higher chance of survival, from what I understand.
Yeah.
I don't know how those factor into this, obviously, and I'm not sure you would either, but are you happy about that? Did you like those in Mass Effect 2?
Yeah, I thought the loyalty missions were some of the best things about Mass Effect. Just getting to know some of those characters were great. And from what we've seen, it seems like there's going to be a cool cast of characters that you'll be able to get to know. And it'll be nice, at least I think, it'll be nice doing some of these missions without the threat of galactic destruction overhang. Because, I mean, some of these missions were help me find my sister, something like that, which is cool. But at the same time, it's we're trying to save a galaxy here.
Yeah, who cares about your sister? She's probably dead. That's what I would always think. Did you? Not to sound callous, but no, like you said, I'm worried about billions of people, not
and
Susan.
That is what I really hope they find the balance with this game, at least in terms of story. I hope they kind of figure out a way to basically not put a clock on this story that's at least too stringent, if that makes sense. Because I do want it to take time and build and explore characters and universes and fun stuff.
That's always a difficult balance to strike with open world games. I know with Mafia 3, Hangar 13 was saying they really wanted to make each of your missions feel urgent. So you're not going to stop and play darts or go on a date like you would in Grand Theft Auto 5. Although in Grand Theft Auto 5, that storyline kind of allows for that more. You're not trying to bring down a mob as a revenge tale, at least in Grand Theft Auto 5. Yeah, but I mean, it's also might have been just Hangar 13's reason for justifying not putting a lot of minor things in the game. I don't know. I don't want to talk about Mass Effect or Mafia 3 too much, but Pete, did you play the Mass Effect games at all?
Mike, you should know the answer to this question. It's always no.
I forgot you don't like video games. No, just kidding. But are you interested in Andromeda past just like the hype surrounding it?
So Mass Effect 1 is a game that I was super curious about that, and I was definitely ready to like jump into that game. Circumstances didn't allow for it. And then 2 and 3 lost that RPG bend a little bit. Mm-hmm. So given that I might be going back to what happened in 1, I'm totally sold. I feel kind of fortunate that I'm not wrapped up in the storyline because it seems like 3 faced a lot of sort of like controversy.
Yeah.
I don't want that baggage. So I'm looking forward to playing Andromeda almost as someone who just is new to the series.
I think that's part of the reason why they position this story to start kind of in between. But also, I think it was Mac Walters again who said that you don't really need to have played the other ones in order to get into this story and appreciate it, which developers always say when they come out with like a 4th game, like, oh, Gears of War 4, you need to play the other ones. And
yeah, Gears of War 4 in its defense did a good job of that. Like giving you that prologue, so to give you like a hint of the Cog Wars or the Pendulum Wars and whatever before you get into it in the original trilogy. But yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda, the whole thing that strikes me is you're a Pathfinder. That's what it's called now. That's like your group, I guess. You're almost like a ranger kind of, right? Like in investigating the Andromeda galaxy, and just it's kind of a sci-fi trope now, trying to find new places for humans to inhabit. But I assume that's what the Andromeda Initiative is, right?
Yeah, so the Andromeda Initiative, at least based on the other trailer they released, there's 4 ships. I said 3 in the trailer breakdown, but there's actually 4. Each one kind of is run by a different race, presumably like the 4 council races. I won't get too into that. And each one is led by a Pathfinder, and that Pathfinder, they say, is like someone who's good with combat, good with exploration, and like, is a good guide, and then a scientist. So that kind of hints that there's going to be combat, there's going to be exploration, and there's going to be like sort of researching different materials.
You're playing a character that would be fun to play as in a video game.
Yeah, exactly.
Works out. Or you could be like, I feel like you're going to run into Matt Damon just on one of these planets. He's been there for a while.
I hope so.
That could be 2 movies I'm referencing, but I'm not going to say the second one because I just spoiled something. It strikes me as like, I don't know, like Interstellar kind of, that whole, like the whole distance from the Milky Way, the whole, like the time it takes to travel there. I imagine that could lead to some cool like storytelling moments. Like, if we're going to relay information back to the Milky Way, they're not going to get it for however long, like depending on, because the mass relays from the first trilogy, which allow like the travel between stars and star clusters and solar systems, don't go to the Andromeda galaxy. And that's why they had to send these ships that took 600 years to get there in cryostasis. You wake up, you're presumably still the same age. I don't know. I've never been frozen like that.
No, you haven't?
No. What does it feel like?
I thought you were born like 400 years ago and you just popped out now.
Yeah, is that what my personality conveys?
Yeah.
Do I have like a wisdom about me?
No.
What? That's exactly what I'm going for? And I'm not hitting it.
Nah.
Really?
Nah.
You could definitely be a wizard, Pete.
Just because of my glasses?
No, your beard and your glasses.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, and then they said like same thing with romances. You can romance aliens, same-sex romances are back. You can kiss a bunch of people, which I guess is always fun.
Smooches.
People care a lot more about the relationships, the romances in these games than I do.
Is this one of these kissing games?
Yeah, it's a dating simulator where you have to travel. Every potential mate in the Milky Way is gone, so you have to go to the Andromeda galaxy.
And bone.
Exactly.
Yep.
Whatever alien species you want, if you got game, that is. So yeah, you're skilled in science, combat, probably biotics. Yeah, lovemaking, flirting. Bring a sick pickup line with you to Andromeda Galaxy. It might come in handy.
What would your pickup line be?
I just sold that game for BioWare. What my pickup line be? We're pretty far from the sun, but it still feels pretty hot right now. Come on. Off the cuff, that was bad?
Yeah, but off the cuff, man, you're gonna have to like do just.
Well,
do better than that.
I didn't have 600 years to prepare for it. I'll bring it with me before I play the game, and then I'll use it on some Asari that is attracting me. Asari is Arya, right? The blue ones Yeah. With like snake tentacle hair.
With the tentacle ponytails.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
come
you're
on.
approving smell. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd better bring a pickup line. All right. This is, where did we lose track of this conversation? I don't know. Anything else like that the trailer showed you? I mean, like obviously it's on GameSpot right now. You can go to watch this the Mass Effect Andromeda cinematic trailer breakdown that Jake and Jean-Luc did. But anything that you guys pulled out of that you wanted to talk about in terms of what it might tell us about Andromeda that I didn't ask you?
Some things. Actually, to be honest, I think more information came from that other trailer that they showed, the kind of like Andromeda Initiative trailer. They just showed some weapons, some returning weapons, some newer weapons. They showed they hinted at sort of a colonization aspect where you'll be able to create like colonies. I don't know how in depth that is. They haven't talked about that at all, but that could be something fascinating. And it kind of makes sense, right? If you're colonizing a new planet or whatever, you're going to want to create buildings, structures, things of that nature.
Sure.
2 to 4 player co-op. Still not sure how that's going to work.
Like a separate mode, maybe like Mass Effect 3, I would assume, the multiplayer.
The separate modes would be the safe bet. I think it's going to be sort of similar to, I guess, maybe Destiny, where like most of your, because you can play co-op through all the missions on Destiny, right? But I think there's going to be like sort of a campaign, but on your map or whatever, you can pick like, okay, here's a 4-player co-op mission that I can do.
Gotcha.
So I think it'll be similar to Mass Effect 3, but it'll be more seamless. Once again, speculation, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think that would be a cool way to do co-op for that game.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I don't know, the game's been delayed so much, and people have left BioWare that have worked on it. I don't know what's going on over there. We did an interview with Aaron Flynn, the studio manager back at E3, which is really interesting. You should go check that out. It's also on GameSpot. But yeah, in the meantime, I guess we'll keep an eye out for more coming from, I don't know, they're going to be doing maybe another trailer with the Mass Effect or Andromeda Initiative.
Yeah. So they're supposed to give new initiative information. Like they haven't said when, but it's going to be kind of often. And the gameplay reveal is at the Video Game Awards, which I don't know the date on that. It's usually in December though, right?
I think it's early December. Yeah.
Early December. So not long until you see more of Mass Effect.
Cool. So yeah, that is Mass Effect Andromeda, the new cinematic trailer, and the Andromeda Initiative trailer, which Jake and Jean-Luc detail extensively in a video breakdown on GameSpot. So go check that out and let us know what you think in the comments below.